Ladies and gentlemen, I have no words for what I've just witnessed. Castlevania Nocturne Season 2 might be my favourite animated show of 2025. I know it's only January and that might be, a big statement to make, but unless they bring out a whole new season of Attack on Titan with brand new characters and a new arc, I don't think this show is going to be beat this year. I know I'm the glaze god. I glaze everything I watch, it seems, but I've never had a season 2 of a show completely wipe out any doubts or anything like that I had about the show based off of season 1. But first of all, if you guys are here to see if you should watch Castlevania in general, if you have never watched it whatsoever, I am going to be spoiling shit about, the sequel show, which is Castlevania Nocturne. I'm not sure if I'm going to spoil stuff about the original show, but if you haven't watched it at all, just to be safe, go watch it. You're missing out, mate. I can't believe people actually exist that have not watched the show yet. It saddens me a little bit. If you are somebody who just loves cold-hearted action, or just love seeing somebody who is highly skilled going around and fucking up multiple vampires and trying to take on Dracula himself, you are going to love Castlevania. As I said, I was a little bit worried about this season, mainly because season 1 did not really live up to the original Castlevania show to me. I know the original show had 4 seasons and this was the first of this new show, so it was very hard to live up to the expectations, I guess. But I couldn't help but feel a little bit disappointed and let down, mainly not even because the characters and stuff like that were bad. I really enjoyed the characters. I loved Richter. The characters were interesting and they were really well written characters and stuff like that, but I feel like the reason I didn't enjoy that season as much is definitely because it didn't feel like its own season. It felt like it was just there for a build-up for season 2, because we literally get zero conclusion to the end of season 1. Other than that Egyptian bitch that dies. I'm terrible with these names, I'm sorry. I did enjoy the way they ended the last season though, when the plan is fully in motion, you see the fucking eclipse going over the sun, and you just know some bad shit's about to go down. It was a nice cliffhanger and it made it so when season 2 started, boom, we're just straight into the action. But from the first shot, ladies and gentlemen, I knew this was going to be a special season. The first moment of the first episode, we see our boy Alucard making his way to an Egyptian temple 3 years before the events of last season. And he is looking elegant as ever, as you would expect, only for these Egyptian vampires to pop out of the sands and threaten my boy. But Alucard was just like, nah mate, don't be coming at me with that type of fucking disrespect. Either step out of my way or I will kill every single one of you. And of course, they're silly little vampires, so they didn't listen and they soon got fucking taught who my boy was. That was one of the coolest, effortless fucking moments I've seen, because while watching it, if you look at his face, my boy doesn't even flinch. He doesn't even blink. Everything is just so fucking coordinated. It's I don't even know how to explain it. It's just so fucking cool. Then he goes into the temple and he thinks he's safe, and then he gets attacked by these 2 even fatter Egyptians who do put up a decent enough fight, but they did not know who they were fighting. When I say I gasped at how fucking cool and creative this fucking moment was, that is an understatement, because I vibrated in joy. It's when one of the big cunts goes to grab or do something to Alucard and the sword comes flying back and cuts her arms off, and it just gets stuck into the wall and you just see her arms still dangling onto the blade, only for Alucard to look at her, turn around, and the fucking sword by itself comes down and just impales her. Oh my god, man, it's so cool. How do you watch that and not get existential joy out of it? How? I don't understand. But even if you don't enjoy that type of stuff and you don't like violence and all, I don't understand how you are not vibrating like a fucking love toy when cool shit like that happens. Because to me, it's I'm able to see everything that's going on. I can see the moves that they're doing in this animated show, whereas in a lot of shows you don't even see that shit. It's like Arcane during the fight scenes, you could see every movement that they were doing while fighting. It was all coordinated, it all made sense. And it's the same with this show. It's not typical anime trope where he just pulls the sword out of the sheath and all of a sudden he's fucking in half. Although there are moments like that, it still kind of makes sense. At least when people are getting cut in half, you at least see Alucard use the sword to cut them in half, There are no moments where it's that doesn't seem like it could happen, even though it is a show about vampires and magic and shit, But there is a single moment that I cannot get out of my head. It made me cream. Might be a bit TMI, but fuck me, it was cool. It was one of those moments that if I seen as a kid, I would have changed my entire personality to be like the person in the show that done this. And that is Richter in the last 2 fucking episodes of the season. My boy went fucking off. I had this debate a few times with my friend that Trevor from the original show is better than Richter. And after this fucking season, bro, he is catching up. He is gaining fast. But there was one single moment that he done while fighting this fucking bitch. I can't remember exactly like beat for beat what happened, but I'll show it on screen. There was a moment when he was fighting in the air with the big fucking, vampire bitch, and he gets flung down to the ground, and he is looking up at her while she is coming down with the force of 1,000 gods to land on his fucking face. As her arm gets this fucking close to his head, my boy pulls off the smoothest shit ever, man. Did you see this blade come out of nowhere and just slice the bitch's hand off before she hits him? Oh my fucking Christ, bro. I actually jumped for joy. It was so fucking cool. There were so many little moments like that, and like so much was happening at the last 2 episodes, and like even just before that. It's so hard for me to remember everything that happened because so much stuff happened like near the end, but all of it was sick. I loved every second of it. I loved the little B-plot between like Maria and her mother. So I loved seeing them trying to, try rekindle a few things, only for her mother to then run off. And my God, man, I felt it when she was crying because she just killed her father. She just got revenge for everything that he has done. And then her mother says that she needs to leave because she needs to find herself. And she starts running away. But while she's running away and Maria's chasing her, just hearing her scream and crying, saying, "Please don't leave me." Oh my God, man. It was fucking great. You felt the emotion. That's the best part about Castlevania in general. You feel the emotion of each and every character that is showing emotion on screen. And I loved the relationship with Just Belmont, or Just, I don't know how to pronounce it, Just. The relationship between him and Maria as it grew, but watching their growth, and then when they show up to the final battle and you see how much Just actually cares about this girl, and just seeing this kind of family connection between them, and then obviously with Richter as well when they finally meet up again and she jumps into his arms and it's a sister brother type of bond. That was really heartwarming too. I really fucking enjoyed that. But my favorite character in the show, hands down, Richter Belmont. What a fucking man. These 2 seasons share a common theme when it comes to Richter. He has a lot of self-doubt. He doesn't know if he can live up to the Belmont name. We see him talk about the death of his mother a little more in this season, and he was like, "My mother died trying to protect me, and for years I thought that, the higher purpose behind that was to keep me alive, thinking that I was the higher purpose." And just the way he talks about shit like that is just so real, the way the actor portrays it just sounds real. But watching him grow was great. Even in season 1, my favorite moment from season 1 was when he finally got his powers back, or his magical abilities back, and he just starts fucking up the people in the pond. That to me was epic. Just the animation and everything, just the blue flames, the way it looked, the way his eyes glowed, it was just so fucking sick. Only to then get that times fucking 10,000 in season 2. I'm recording for quite a while, so I am just going to get straight to the nitty gritty part of it. Watching how fucking cool Richter was when it came to the final fight, my boy did not back down in the slightest. Even when things seemed so bleak, when the fucking Elizabeth gets taken by Daltra, or whatever her name was, I forget again, and she sucks, Sigmund's blood out of her so she can become the big muscle mommy. She is floating down, and there is not a single fucking look of backing down in Richter's eyes in the slightest. I love it. He was going to be there till the very end, man. And the way they done the fight scene in general really just makes the villain look that much more terrifyingly strong. What? We have Maria, we have Just, we have Richter, we have Annette as Sigmund. They were not holding back. they were hitting her with shot after shot, and they weren't even doing the typical, like, you know, animation or like fight scene thing where they're waiting for each other to just finish and they're just giving her a one-on-one constantly. They are constantly comboing their attacks with each other. Like, Richter jumps up, covers his arm in fucking ice, gets the bitch in a headlock, and then slams her down towards the ground. And then Juice fucking, like, turns the entire ground into icicles. So when she, lands on the ground, she gets stabbed by the icicles, and then she keeps rolling and gets stabbed some more. Like, they were working in tandem perfectly. And they were giving this bitch the what's up. They were fucking her up the entire time. But still, after they gave it everything they fucking had, she gets up and just shrugs it off. That just made her seem so much more formidable to me, because we saw the frenzy of attacks she has just undergone. Seeing Juice and Richter work together is just so fucking cool. I just loved how it was, you know. I just loved seeing the two Belmonts working together, and of course they are both Belmonts, so they are definitely able to work together much better than the rest of the people are. It's so cool. Just I can't go into there are so many things that I want to talk about, but I can't pick. I keep getting confused. It's man, the show was great. The show was fucking great, and the thing that solidified it was literally the last blow. Was when Alucard threw his sword to fucking Richter, and then it just hovered in front of him, and as soon as he touched it, there was just this giant fucking like beam sword that he just conjured up. Oh my god. And every time I talk I think of something else. But in that same thing, when he just, you know, builds up the sword, slices it down, and then you just see the building blow up behind her, watching it from her point of view where she's looking at Richter, and then all of a sudden you just see a slit go down the middle, and then it like goes a bit cocky. I thought that was so cool. It's such an overdone trope, I know. They're like, you know, they think they're fine, and all of a sudden they're cut in half. But just like seeing it from her point of view was just so cool to me. And I loved like the little like plot with Annette as well, like leading up to the end fight when she goes to try and she goes to her ancestors. She sees her mother, she sees like her loads of people from her like ancestral line. She gets to talk to them again. She gets like closure in that way. Like, that was really like nice to see for me. She got to speak to her god, which, god damn, that would be a fucking fever dream and a half. And then she got to go and speak to Sigmund, who was like, yeah, you need to fight this bitch while I'm in your body, or else you will die. She's just there fighting a fucking hellhound for an entire like episode and a half. Also seeing like a little romantic relationship between Richter and Annette as well. Very wholesome, very epic, very much wow. I'm happy. I'm a happy boy. Story wise, really liked it. Villain wise, it was top tier. Tension wise, it was fucking amazing. I'm gonna stop glazing this show now because I've been talking for an hour straight. So, let me know what you guys thought of this show down below. I just wanted to come on and blab about it because of how surprised I was by it. Like, as I said, I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I was worried, I'm not gonna lie. This might get me a lot of hate and a lot of people screaming at me in the comments, but I'm brave, so here we go. I think this season of Castlevania Nocturne is my favorite season, if not the best season of the entire Castlevania franchise. I said it. I look how brave I am. It was something special, man. Like, don't get me wrong, the fucking last season of Castlevania, the original show where he fights against death, that was fucking epic as well. I don't know how to describe it, but like, I just think it's better. Like, I just do. I believe that. But yeah, folks, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. If you like my face and you want to see more, make sure to click on the video at the end, because that's one of my videos that YouTube thinks you will enjoy the most. I know I've been kind of lackluster when it comes to uploads lately. Like, I haven't been uploading too much, but that's just because after Christmas in work, we had to do a lot of stock taking. If you've worked in retail, you know what that entails. We're back to our regularly scheduled program, folks, and there are going to be a few videos coming out very, very, very soon. I have a few cool ideas that I'm going to be working on very soon. So yeah, we're back in action, boys. 2025. Let's start it with a bang. But yeah, folks, with that said, it's been EXO, and I'll talk to you all later. Have a good one, folks.